Hello, fellows. You're welcome to this educational channel. I'm Dennis Kwanzaa, a research fellow at Education Interventionist. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You can also send us your comment and we will respond accordingly. The purpose of this channel is to assist junior high and senior high students. Today, we will look at figures of speech and our focus will be on metaphor. Figure of speech. A figure of speech is a word or its literal definition. Now, what it simply means is that words have different meanings. So we can use a word literally and also use it figuratively. So for example, Kofi kicked the bucket. Now, the expression kick the bucket literally means someone kicking a bucket. However, figuratively, it means Kofi died or Kofi is dead. Metaphor is a figure of speech. Now, a metaphor is a figure of speech that makes an implicit, implied, or hidden comparison between two things that are unrelated but which share common characteristics. In simple English, when you portray a person, place, thing, or an action as being something else, even though it is not actually that something else, you are speaking metaphorically. And I want to emphasize that metaphor is a figure of speech that we use in our everyday life. Let's look at some examples. Let's consider the first example. The exam was a breeze. Now, in this sentence, we are comparing exam to a breeze. So if you take this literally, it will mean that the exam was actually a breeze, was a gentle wind. However, this is a metaphor simply because it implies that the exam was not difficult. Now, we all know that a breeze is a gentle wind and we all enjoy it. So if you say the exam was a breeze, it means that the exam was very easy. Let's consider the second example. You are my sunshine. Although you aren't literally a ray of light, you probably have a similarly uplifting effect on the speaker. So when the speaker says you are my sunshine, it simply means that you uplift him or her. So the speaker is comparing you to a sunshine. The last example, a good conscience is a continual Christmas. This simply means that if you have a good conscience, you are always excited or happy because Christmas is a celebration that we all enjoy and we are all happy and excited about. Now we are going to consider some types of metaphor. We have primary metaphors, implied metaphors, and dead metaphor. The primary metaphor is the most basic of all the metaphors. In these metaphors, two items are compared side by side and their meaning is clear. Let's go at the first example. Love is blind. In this case, we are comparing love to being blind. That people who fall in love usually don't see. They don't even see the mistakes of the other person that they are in love with. The second example is life is a stage. So life is a stage. So a stage is where actors perform, right? So this is coming from William Shakespeare. He compared life to a stage. That life is just like a stage. We all are actors. We come, we perform, and we vanish. And other people also take over. So these are what we refer to as primary metaphor. Implied metaphor. Now with implied metaphor, it departs from thing A is thing B formula and allows you to make a more sophisticated and subtle type of comparison. Let's look at these two examples. The first one, John got his wooing cues from the peacock. And the second one, in a room full of ladies, John simply found his feathers. In both sentences, we are comparing John to a peacock. In the first sentence, the comparison is overt. The peacock is mentioned, so it's very clear that we are comparing John to a peacock. But let's go to the second example. But in the second sentence, we imply that John is a peacock by comparing his behavior, fanning his feathers, to something peacocks are known for doing. That isn't meant to suggest that John actually has feathers, but that he is behaving in a showy and flirty way to catch the attention of the ladies. And the last one we want to look at is what we call dead metaphor. A dead metaphor is a metaphor that has become so commonplace that the imagery has lost its power. Example, she's the apple of my eye. This is an expression that has been overused, that whenever you use it, it doesn't even carry any weight. Let's consider the second example. It is raining cats and dogs. We use this expression almost every day to the extent that whenever you use it, it doesn't carry any weight. It doesn't carry any power. We refer to these cliches as dead metaphors because they don't carry any weight anymore. They've lost their expressive powers. So that's the end of today's lesson. Kindly subscribe and send us your comment. Next week, we shall look at other forms of figures of speech. Stay safe.